Hi everyone, my name is Cansu and we're at the third week of Mooc and actually finished the third week and you can check by searching Feature Learn and going in English pronunciation in a global world Mooc. So let's start. In this video, we'll generally talk about consonants and check our contents. Consonants, consonant features, silent letters, word endings, and tricky consonants. So as I said, basically all about consonants. We have a picture that's showing a consonant grid here, and we'll talk about it later. And talking about consonant features, consonants are denoted in a consonant grid. When we articulate a sound, we breathe in through our lungs and let the air escape through our trachea. Again, consonants differ from vowels in that we interrupt and modify this outgoing. In order to describe this progress, we look at three parameters in the articulation of consonants. And the three parameters are voicing, the manner in which the airstream gets modified, particular place in the vocal tract where the A stream gets modified. And let's start with voicing. The airflow first meets the larynx. We find our vocal cords. We leave the vocal folds spread, in which case the airstream passes through the unimpeded. However, we can also bring the vocal folds together and make them vibrate. We then pronounce a voice sound. So that's how pronouncing a voice sound, how the sound comes from. And consonant clusters. English has a range of consonant clusters. For some non-native speakers, it is not natural to pronounce as a non-native speakers. Consonant clusters in English, however, this may influence intelligibility. So it's natural to not pronounce, but it can affect your intelligibility. And what is the important in pronunciation is basically the intelligibility. So it's an important point. And speakers tend to add the consonant clusters, so called epenthetic vowel, which you can think of as a kind of additional vowel at the end of the vowel. And clear and dark L. In English, the consonant L is pronounced in two different ways. When L precedes a vowel, as in the words light and late, it is pronounced with the tip of the tongue against the alveolar ridge, the area just behind the front teeth. This pronunciation of L is called clear L, and we'll talk about the dark L. Dark L is when L precedes a consonant or occurs at the end of a word, as in the words full and bold. An additional movement is made with the back of the tongue, which is raised towards the velum. This pronunciation of L is called dark L. So we learned what is dark L and light L. And silent letters. There are a number of reasons why letters are sometimes silent in English. The letter was once pronounced. However, while the letter may not be pronounced anymore, the spelling hasn't changed. There are many such words in English. So, for example, the final consonant cluster used to be pronounced like T in lodge. Letters may also be left pronounced because they occur in difficult sound combinations. For example, in handkerchief, as I'm sorry if I pronounced wrong, difficult to pronounce, and therefore people can be heard saying handclifts. And we have examples. I will read the example words and I'll say which letter I didn't say. Bomb, doubt. I didn't pronounce the B in here. You heard. Foreign. I didn't say the G in here. Muscle. Did I pronounce C? No. Muscle. Night. Night. Not the first letter. Answer, not this letter. Wrist, it's the same. The first letter is silent letter. Listen, this letter is silent again. So I think you understood better when I told the examples. And word endings. English has final word endings up to 1-2 consonants. Actually, in our Mooc, the video explained it so good, but I couldn't upload the video here. If you're interested in, you can watch it. And I couldn't understand it without examples, and I couldn't upload the video, so I won't talk about word endings very much, and I'll continue in my talk. Tricky consonants is a very, very long and for me difficult. But we'll talk about it briefly. Pronunciation of the T is notoriously difficult consonant to pronounce. Yeah, I definitely agree. I still don't know how to pronounce it. It occurs only in a few languages in the world, and it's one of the last consonants that young English children occur. Substitute by other consonants, even in various native English accents. Minimal pairs with S and Z, in some minimal pairs like those, and make the difference between a noun and a verb. Sometimes it's really difficult to understand the difference. And to be honest, I couldn't distinguish sometimes, but this Mooc helps me to understand it better. There are many more similar such pairs in pairs like advice and advice, a noun and a verb, and rise and rise. Sometimes when you hear it, you couldn't understand, but I think you understood better. The words with C are pronounced with S, and the words with S are pronounced with Z. Different pronunciations of R, close, close mid. It's about our mouth, open mid, open. A different pronunciation of W. Some non-native speakers cannot understand the difference between we and we. As a non-native, I don't have a problem in that point, but sometimes it's not easy to understand. Examples will help you to distinguish the difference. Examples, ways, ways, real, real, and wane, wane, whale, whale. You can read other examples or you can watch videos to understand the difference perfectly. If you understand the vowels and understand the difference between, for example, W and V and other consonants, the best way is to understand is studying on examples, hearing them from a native, and repeating after them. It's the best way to understand. End of the week 2, we basically talked about consonants. And if you want to hear the truth, this week was not so easy for me to understand. I had some problems in understanding the examples. We had tests and exercise when we were completing the Mooc, and it was beneficial, but it was really so hard. But with examples, I understood it better. So basically, week 3 was not easy to understand, but I think it made me, I'm now in a better place of my pronunciation. So it was so beneficial again, like the other weeks, but this week was different from them because it was, there was so many things in detail and the examples were so, as I said, it wasn't easy, but it was so beneficial. Thanks for listening to me. You can check our Mooc. Have a great day.